to another segment of Gospel Life News. My name is Daki, and this is me wishing you guys another blessed week. Again, today is Tuesday. Every day we step closer to Christmas, and this year we'll all pray that this Christmas gets to be an amazing one. Because trust me, things are saying otherwise, but then we have trust that obviously it might look difficult, but then it will come out better. My name is Daki. You can spell it as Darki, and then you know it's double E. I want to say a big thank you to our fans out there for doing what you do. You guys have been amazing. We're saying massive thank you to you guys. Thank you. You guys have shown that you guys really love us, and in return, we love you guys too. You can ask stream us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please come through for us because we are waiting for you in that space. Please at the same time, please remember to tell your friend that Gusto TV Africa will do something amazing here. And then we'll promise that in coming days, we are having something big, majorly coming to your screen. Please turn on your notification button so that you can be aware whenever we make a new video or a post. Anyways, the news is buzzing because Peruzzi came through with a lot of conversation on the podcast, and all of these conversations that are concerning, we'll talk about them on the news. At the same time, Burna Boy and Fino have promised that yes, that song is coming out on a set date. That date, I'll relay them to you in a bit. At the same time, Rema has broken another record for getting a certification in one of the biggest countries in the world. All of this again, Daki is bringing them your way. Let's begin the news with no other person than Burna Boy. We saw Burna Boy spending his 16th week on the fans' official singles chart, and then for the week it sits at number 175. Now for Burna Boy City Boy, you just cannot you just go on the news every day, you see the song doing good numbers in Netherlands, in UK, and now it's France. The song is doing massive numbers, and people really love the jam at the time because it has an euphoria of stamping your foot and a lot of stuff that makes a dance go viral, from the dance step to the song lyrics, to what the song stands for, represents, and all of that. For a fact, we know that when the song came out, a lot of persons went through to buy Timberland shoes because it was synonymous to what the dance looked like and the song. So basically, Burna Boy exactly knows what to do when he wants to create a banger at the time. And moving on, we saw Burna Boy Giza video with a vibe have spent its second day at number 1 on the YouTube Nigeria daily chart. Now for this one, it was directed by legendary TG Omori at the time. TG has shot so many videos basically for the year, but this one stood out at the time. And then we saw where the behind the scene of the shoot was amazing. They created almost everything from scratch, from the props to the design to the sets to the weapons they used. It was all created from the brilliance of TG Omori. We saw they painted a picture of a local Mortal Kombat where you have the round 1 fight, round 2 fight, and round 3 fighting. And then we saw Burna Boy was like the monarch walking around the building and making sure that he oversees his slaves, so to say, fighting, and he painted the right picture of what they were talking about in the song Giza. And obviously we won't take away the fact that Sheyi Vibes came through 100%, gave his best on that one, and it's made the video a very colorful and a brilliant one. Fino and Burna Boy coming through with the remix of Do I. They're coming through with that one on Wednesday, 20th of December. We all thought at the point the windows for new songs are closed already, because if you didn't drop a song the last Friday, that last week, this week we'll all want to reflect on what I've listened to so far and then give verdict on them. But then we have seen that that has not been the case, because a lot of new guys are coming through with songs. And Burna Boy also has announced that him and Fido are coming through with a remix of Do I. And then in case you followed Burna Boy, we've seen when he has played a snippet of those songs in some shows in Switzerland and all of that. And his part on the song really speaks volume. Obviously, Burna Boy on a song kills it effortlessly. And this one, he came through and made us know that, yes, I'm Burna Boy, and I'm going to make the song to mad numbers. Obviously, we're expecting to see what the full song look like. But what we've read, we can assure you 100% that Burna Boy and Fino created a masterpiece on Do I Remix. Moving on, we have Davido as the next guy on the news, one of the freshest guy ever in the music industry, looking so fly. With this picture you're seeing, it is beyond all reasonable doubt that Davido maybe could just be the freshest guy on the music space. Moving on, we saw Ozuna Eva Longoria with Davido hit a milestone of 20 on the Spain official singles chart and currently sit at 88 on this week. And like I said, it is now eligible for 2 platinum. People actually give credence to Unavailable Feel and songs off the Timeless album, but then a lot of persons have not given full credence to what him and Ozuna created when they called it Eva Longoria, because trust me, that was a song that I'm sure Davido would have stressed himself, because it was not a song, it was not a space he's used to and all of that. This is a different song, different vibe, different culture, different people to appeal to, and the song is still appealing to these guys. It just shows that Davido is versatile, and then his versatility would always come through at every point in time. Massive congrats to him for having a song in Spain that is now eligible for 2 platinum. So while it was in Port Harcourt, we saw Davido linking out with Charlie Poppy in the club, and this time it was not a verbal link out, but then it was a money link up. We saw Charlie Poppy and Davido stoning each other with hard currencies, basically Naira though, but then we saw this stoning themselves with money. Charlie Poppy was trading, and Davido was going to reply, and we all know how this money culture thing can be. Afrobeat space has been bossing with money, from Whiskey 20 meter, 30 meter, to Davido 5 meter, and Charlie Poppy stoning money. A lot of guys have just been, it has just been a whole fun fair for Africans, Nigeria especially, because we know we have all the guys back in the country, Davido, Burna Boy, Whiskey, and whenever they are back, you are sure that money is going to be everywhere in the air. Moving on, we saw Dami Twitch, the director for the song at the time, the one he had with Namoni, with Angelique Kidjo, and the guy, the Caveman, where they came through with an amazing collaboration. And Dami Twitch said, "Hi, my name is Dami Twitch. I just shot the most amazing video in the world, Namoni by Davido, Angelique Kidjo, Legendary, and Caveman." Now, the video, what Davido did on the album is actually dynamic, because we saw for Phil, he used John Murray, and then he said he paid John Murray his first 100 million for the video, and at the same time, the Davido after that to switch over using Dami Twitch for Namoni. Maybe he could just be using different directors for the video he intends to shoot, but then the dynamics of the video was amazing, so clean. One of the cleanest videos you can see this year. Very, very clean video, and whoever the elements of the video is amazing. The vintage vehicles they use, the vintage attires, and then Angelique Kidjo coming in briefly, sitting down, having guests around her. It just means that indeed Dami Twitch created one of the most amazing videos you can find this year. And moving on, we saw Davido is now 3 times Grammy nomination superstar. That Davido is set to perform at the St. Croix Crucian Christmas Festival at Afro Soca Night, January 6th, at the village in the US, an amazing one for him. But then the headline of this is the fact that at the time, Davido has been tagged 3 times and nominated Grammy. And that's a big deal. That's something that's always wanted. And then we're so happy that he's getting a lot of what is wanted in his time. And we say massive congrats to him. And at the same time, we look forward to what he would do on the 6th of January when he mounts the Crocs in US to give them a timeless performance. Obviously, song off his album and other album. Davido performances has been top notch. He has actually taken it a step higher, doing more of live performances. And before now, we've seen people say he has frog voice and all of that, but he has proven everybody wrong, because now Davido sits very comfortable whenever he's doing live performances at the time. Moving on, we saw Angelique Kidjo coming out to say, "Just out, Davido Namoni video with the Caveman and yours truly looks so good." And basically, indeed, that video looks so good. Once again, massive kudos to Dami Twitch for creating a masterpiece. Moving on, we saw yesterday after Don Jazzy came through on the podcast, on the Zero Conditions podcast, where he said he was the one who actually gave Davido the name of the album, Timeless. And then he said, he wrote him and said, this album should be called Timeless. And he said, fast forward to when the album came out, Davido, he discovered that indeed it was called Timeless. But then he said he doesn't want to do forward, so he didn't call Davido to ask him, you did it. But then Davido called him and said, Papa, did you see that? Because I just named the album Timeless. And then he was so happy, he felt so happy that he could influence a part of Davido's career. And then when they posted that one, Davido posted saying facts, because yes, Don Jazzy was the brain behind Timeless project, and indeed Davido created Timeless on that album. Peruzzi coming out to speak about a whole lot of stuff. We saw where he came out to speak about him and Burna Boy, and then he said him and Burna Boy linked up at the point, and then they had a song. He wrote a song together at the time, and Burna Boy released the song without his knowledge. And then he said it's fine, it's cool, because in the industry, a lot of this stuff happen and it's not a big deal. For yesterday, we saw where he came out to say Christian and him had the song of Walada, and then he was vexed about that, and he said he might never work with Chris Daniel again at any point in time because he felt cheated over the song they had together. But then reverse the case for Burna Boy. Then he said for Burna Boy, it's fine, it's normal because this thing happened in the industry. He also went further to speaking about the relationship between Davido and Burna Boy. He said he is close to Davido. As a matter of fact, Peruzzi says he is the closest to Davido at the time, and he's also close to Burna Boy. And then he says yes, they're fighting. Confirmed that yes, indeed, there's a problem between them. But then he said he has never at any point spoken about Burna Boy to Davido or Davido to Burna Boy. He mentioned that he's older than both of them, and so he likes to remain in his zone. But he also added that the good news is they would settle very, very soon because they're brothers. They know they're brothers, and they will settle very, very soon. We really hope that Davido and Burna Boy get to settle as soon as possible. Peruzzi coming out to speak about Davido's generosity, and then he said he lived with Davido in his apartment for 2 years, and for those 2 years, he was the first person Davido saw whenever he woke up, and that their bromance became stronger and stronger and stronger to the extent that Davido has never collected 1 naira from him. Both song videos he has shot for him, his shows, his music, his promotion, and everything. Davido was paying for all of that, but then Davido has never gotten 1 naira from his returns from Peruzzi, and that is something. And then he was asked how he would love to pay Davido back. He said he pays him with loyalty and sincerity. He mentioned that Davido can call him at any point in time, whatever time it is, and he's going to make a massive response because Davido really stood behind him at the time. He spoke about Tu Baba, and then he said, Two-Face is my father, I love him, I respect him. And then he said he copies him a lot. He said on this album, we're going to be seeing a lot of Tu Baba on the album because he loves what he does. He explains how they created Amaka at the time. He said he linked up with Furosh at the time, and they were just playing the piano and all of that, and him and Tu Baba were just vibing. He said he repeated Tu Baba's verse on the song, and after the song dropped, he said Tu Baba was not in the country because it was on a store in the US, and the song was an instant smash in the country, and people could not see Two-Face because he was on the country, but on the other hand, they were demanding for him. So it was eating all the money, going for all the shows, taking all the money, and then Two-Face was always asking him, I hope you enjoy yourself. I was like, yes. And then he was praying that Two-Face never gets back because the money he was enjoying at the time was just too good to be true. We saw where he came out to say he was asked what was the strangest thing he has ever found in the industry, and then Peruzzi said it was one of those days in Davido's apartment while he was there, staying with Davido at the time, and then he went to shower. He was with the men then. He called them men as his guys downstairs, and then went upstairs to shower. He got his shirt. After taking the shower, he got there, wear short knicker, wear a shirt, and then there was this jacket that was looking at him, and I was like, should I wear it or not? So he didn't have to wear it, but he just picked it up. And the moment he dusted the jacket, he said voodoo, that juju dropped from the jacket, and I was like, really? How did this get to this point? And he mentioned he was scared, but then it was at that point he knew that the industry could be like this. The question is, why would you go as far as using voodoo for someone? But then Peruzzi said the industry can be like that, but that was the moment he discovered that yes, this industry is for us. Where he also came out to speak about Chioma, and then he explained that there was a time where a lot of narrative came out, said he slept with Chioma at the time and back and forth. And then he said that was a very innocent narrative because at the time the team edits, it was like there was a problem because he knew where the narrative came from, but he did not address it. But then he said the good thing about this is the fact that Davido never at any point approached him and asked him if it was true or not. Because if Davido had done that, Davido would have messed up because they were so close that Davido knew everything about him, both inside and outside. So Davido trusted him to know that he would never do that. And then he said Davido never ever asked him about that. He also mentioned the fact that whenever there's a leaked gist from the team, most likely they always know who is behind it, because he explains that if the gist leaked was what Davido said, it means that Davido knows who he told, and that person was the one who has done it. At the same time, he mentioned that if it was a general gist, as far as that can be, you can never know who actually said that. Moving on, we saw where Peruzzi came out to talk about himself boastfully, where he said he has done everything on the low key, and then he said he knows how to do everything. He mentioned the fact that one of those days he was with Fino, and Fino said, "You are the one dulling yourself because you can do everything and you just sit down there." And then he said, "That's true, because he can do anything. He can write, he direct, he co-directs, he does everything." He said he doesn't write with beats, so he writes before the beat, and that is how good he has been. So basically, he was blowing his trumpet saying he can do everything without anybody's help at the time, and that's fact, because Peruzzi is someone we all know that writes amazingly well and obviously produces. Handprint is at a point almost everywhere in the industry. Moving on, we saw where Peruzzi came out to say him and Davido at a point have never quarreled for whatever reason. For what not, he said him and Davido has never at any point had a misunderstanding. And the one time they had not a fight, not a quarrel, just a misunderstanding, was when Davido was going to lay a severe punishment on one of the team members, and then he knew that the person was not the one who did it, and then he said he saw Davido driving angrily, and then he had to reverse, drive as fast as possible, linked up with Davido, and looked at Davido's eyes and said, "No, Baba, that person did not do it." And Davido obviously also crossed to the person, did one or two stuff to the person, but then he said after Davido looked at Obama and said, "Yeah, that's true, not be him doing," and then he felt like Davido trusted him to know that if he says something, that thing is true. But that was the only time. But aside that, him and Davido had never ever quarreled. He explains further on the point that Davido was the first person after he flew to Lebanon. He went to Dubai to meet Davido, and then Davido flew to Lebanon, and Davido had pictures with him, hugged him, took him up, and they was so happy. Davido posted him on his Instagram story, and then for the first time, he was seeing notification on his phone 99 plus, and he didn't know what that means. But then he was seeing followers everywhere, messages everywhere, and his phone was hanging. He mentioned that the next day, Davido got him a new phone, and Davido flew him to Lebanon on a first class jet, and then they got to Lebanon. Davido showed him his room, and from that moment, life turned out for him, and he also explains that from that time, Davido met him and said, "You know what, the next time I'm walking, walk beside me, don't walk behind me." And that was how close they've been. But after 2 years, he decided to leave the apartment. Moving on from this, we saw where Peruzzi also explained how him and Davido have just been on proper terms, and we just know that these guys have a good relationship, and then we hope that he also explains that the 30BG gang till date are still coexisting. They love themselves, they are together, and they have never freaked out over anything. And for Davido, it just shows that he indeed is a man with a big heart. Moving on, we have Rema as the next guy on the news. We saw Rema and Gomez come down just surpass 1.1 billion stream on Spotify. As a matter of fact, 1.170 billion stream on Spotify. This song has been a sensation ever since it came out. For this year, it had a massive run. Amassing about almost 10 million stream per day, and that is amazing. Trust me, for a lot of artists, that is a career stream for them. But for Rema, he was doing this about 10 million stream per day on a song, and other songs were also going well. And no wonder the song had just surpassed 1.170 billion stream on Spotify. You can just imagine what Apple Music, Boomplay, Audiomack, and YouTube is saying at the time. But then we all say congrats to him for this milestone. Moving on, we saw Rema Calm Down. The single and the Rave and Roses album has both spent 89 weeks on the France official chart. And at the same time, we saw Rema Calm Down currently chart at number 82 on this week's Snapchat singles chart. And it peaked at number 2 when it was buzzing. For Rema, we say congratulations, because indeed he has had an amazing year. So far, he has cancelled all shows, and then he has said he needs to rest because of his health. But we know that when Rema is back to his feet, his numbers, his songs are obviously going to start going up, because this guy is really a sensational person at the time. Congrats to Rema and the team, because the Rave and Roses Ultra album has just been certified gold in the US after making over 500,000 units sold. And for the US, 500,000 units is a gold and 1 million is a platinum. For the UK, 500,000 is a platinum, 250 is a gold. But Rema has just done 500,000 plus units sold in the US, which has made him eligible for a gold certification for the album in the US. Moving on, we saw Rave and Roses Ultra now holds the record for the fastest African album to be certified in the US. That's an amazing one for him. We say congrats to him for having this major milestone. But then that's not all, because Rema is set to break another milestone, which is this. The Rave and Roses Ultra has now earned 5 official album certifications, which made him tie as the second certified African album ever. It is the most certified debut album for Rema. The sky is just getting to be the limit because he has done so well. And for this year, we can say Rema is the most achieved Afrobeat artist for the year. And finally, we saw Rema become the first African artist to top the Billboard Latin Rhythm Airplay as Boobaloo with Fexo peaks at number 1. Rema has been doing good numbers in India, Jerusalem, Spain, Portugal, Brazil. These are countries, Australia. These are countries where Afrobeat are not thriving properly, but Rema has been going there and picking a good share of their music fraction. But this time we saw him with Boobaloo picking as number 1 on the Billboard Latin Rhythm Airplay chart, and that's a massive one for Rema. We say congratulations to him and Fexo for giving us a masterpiece which they called Boobaloo at the time. My name is Daki. We'll catch you guys on the very next one.